Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah. We have a great show for you today. First, we are going to check in with our news partner, Wisconsin Athletic Foundation. And we've had Wisconsin Athletic Foundation on a few times, but this is the first time that Dick Powell is joining us, so welcome.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and just such an interesting topic. I love having you guys on because this is something that I think viewers at home need to know about, and I know that we're needing some help from them as well. But first, let's go ahead and demystify some of these acronyms, shall we? So who are the WAF? And then what is the RAC, W-R-A-C? Let's talk about that.
Excellent. Well, WAF is Wisconsin Athletic Foundation, and the RAC, like our
lovely logo back there.
Absolutely shows. Is Wisconsin Regional Athletic Complex. And what the RAC really is a project of the Wisconsin Athletic Foundation, which we are a nonprofit tax-exempt organization, and our sole purpose is to enrich the community by providing top quality athletic opportunities for youth and adults in Sun Prairie, Madison, Dane County, and Wisconsin as visitors.
Oh, that's just wonderful stuff. And now why RAC?
Why the RAC? Well, the RAC is important and necessary because we have a couple limitations in Wisconsin. Right now, if you look at the access to, excuse me.
That's okay.
What we have is several factors are limiting the growth of field sports in Dane County, and very specifically, they are the lack of indoor field space and outdoor artificial turf. And then we have, of course, the weather in Wisconsin, which is always changing. So our goal here is to make both those points relevant in Dane County by providing seasonal access to sports regardless of the weather.
Yeah, and what an important cause, especially for youth in the area, and having an outlet to go really 6 months out of the year, right, when we struggle to find an outdoor space to do these kinds of activities. So I just think it's wonderful what you guys are doing. And let's talk a little bit about when this is going to be built, where it will be.
Okay. Where it's going to be built is at the property will be located at 3559 U.S. Highway 51 in Sun Prairie, which is just south of Capitol Drive. The property is a 60-acre parcel, which is immediately adjacent to Reiner Road to the east, US 151 to the west, and Capitol Drive to the north. So if you imagine that corridor, it's just right there on the south side of the corridor for Reiner Road 151.
That's a great location. And just a side note, do you know specifically why that location was chosen? Is it just, accessibility?
Well, we chose that location for a number of reasons. Number one being is just where it's located is that we still have bus routes that can make it out from Madison for the underprivileged to access our facilities, as well as the traffic flows. If teams coming from outside of Wisconsin or maybe northern Wisconsin can fly down into the airport, and it's really only maybe 5 or 10 minutes away. So it's just a wonderful access route, and especially with adjacency up and down on 151, and its access to other parts of the state.
Yeah, I think that's just great how accessible you've made this location once it's up and fully built, and just a great way for folks to be able to get there easily. So that's important too, right?
Absolutely.
And now let's talk a little bit about what we can do to help, because I know you're actually in need of some help. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, we have a couple things we're looking for. Primarily, we're looking for to build an army of volunteers. And what do we need volunteers for? We need volunteers to help us canvass Sun Prairie and the greater surrounding area to make sure the residents are aware of the project. Number two is that we have several of our fundraising activities. We need people to help participate in that. Some of them are, I'm not sure if you've heard of SCRIP programs, where a SCRIP program is where you can help fundraise without changing any of your shopping behaviors that will help fund our project. Other things are Milk Moolah and Dollars for Donuts with Quick Trip. Woo!
Oh, okay. Lots of great ways. That's wonderful.
Sure.
And let's talk about timing as far as help goes real quick.
Well, our timing really is immediate. The grand opening is scheduled to be April 3rd of 2015, and there's so much to be done. And so we're trying to find volunteers to help us accomplish those goals as quickly as possible.
Great.
Now.
Yeah, so you need help now, and you need volunteers, most importantly. So.
And most importantly, volunteers.
Yeah. Great. Well, wonderful information. We always appreciate you guys coming on and sharing what you're doing, because what a wonderful project for folks at home to eventually hopefully get involved in and utilize as we get to that point, right?
Absolutely, that'd be great.
Dick
Thank you very
Powell,
much.
thank you so much for joining us from Wisconsin Athletic Foundation, our news partner. We're just getting warmed up. We've got lots of talk of the town coming up after the break.